Hello and welcome to our Day 10 Enchanted Princess vlog series. In this episode, we visit the Icelandic port of Grundarfjörður and are absolutely blown away. We visit the most photographed mountain in Iceland. We encounter some absolutely breathtaking waterfalls. The tender queue has us worried. And be sure to watch until the end to find out why you must visit Take 5.
Hi, I'm Tom.
And I'm Dom.
And we are Tom and Dom Travel.
And welcome to Day 10 of our Enchanted Norway and Iceland cruise. And today we're in Grundarfjörður. So, we arrived in Grundarfjörður. Excuse my Icelandic, in the early hours of the morning. We woke up nice and fresh and we went straight up onto the Lido deck just to have a look outside and the spectacular views of the surrounding areas. We did take the opportunity just to have a quick walk over the skywalk just because there wasn't anybody about, so we thought we'd take advantage of it and headed into the main buffet just for breakfast.
Once again, we knew that today was a tender port, so we didn't want to hang about too long, did we? So we had a quick breakfast. I had croissants and jam and a nice cup of tea.
And I actually went for the freshly made bagels with cream cheese and a fruit cup, and it was absolutely beautiful. Just a light little breakfast because, we had been consuming quite a bit of food.
Yeah, our breakfast again a bit lighter now. We can't eat as much as we did in day one. Then after breakfast we headed out to the back of the ship, out to the infinity pool at the back of the ship, and took a few more pictures there. It's just spectacular here. There is so many photographs that you could take in every direction, isn't there? So it's just beautiful place, and there's like a mist over the top of the mountains, isn't there?
Yeah, it's absolutely, it is absolutely breathtaking, and these photos and videos just do not do the place any justice at all.
It's an amazing place. So after that we headed back to the room, grabbed our bags, coats, and headed off to grab our tender.
So just like in Kirkjufell, so I'm getting good, we had to pick up a tender ticket.
Yeah.
Down on the main piazza on deck 5 by the Salty Dog Grill. Wasn't too many people about. We didn't have to wait long, but we did sit in gelato just to sit down and rest and wait for our number to be called. I think we were waiting all of around about 10 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't long
before they called us to start boarding the tender down on deck 4.
Yeah. Once again, we got to sit at the top of the tender, which means we could get some fantastic shots of the ship. And it took about 10 minutes really to get from the ship across the fjord or the water to, I don't want to say it, Grundarfjörður.
Grundarfjörður
itself.
Yeah, it was really quick tender ride. So again, some absolutely breathtaking views on our way into the port. And yeah, we arrived in the port to be met with not a lot actually.
Hey, I tell you what there was a little puffin that everyone said, oh, puffin, and then
yeah.
it dived into the water and never to be seen again. So we were on puffin watch.
So even though Kirkjufell was, we said was the smallest port we've ever been to, Grundarfjörður
just got smaller.
There was no sort of tourist information. I think there was a lady there with a map, but there wasn't any tents or what do you call them, huts like yesterday.
Yeah,
it was literally you just stepped off the tender and you were in the centre of town. It was a little bit surreal, really.
It was, but it was beautiful.
Oh, absolutely stunning. The one thing that was just on the entrance to or just at the exit of the port was the Kirkjufell bus.
Kirkjufell bus. So Kirkjufell is the name of one of the most iconic mountains in Iceland. You'll see it because of the shape of it. It is in a lot of photography that happens around the area, Northern Iceland. So there was a bus on that you could get there.
So this was the main tourist attraction, and there was a bus, and it was €10 return. We didn't really want to go to Kirkjufell, is that right? Straight away. We wanted to have a little walk around town.
Yeah, find out where we were really, didn't we? So we had a brief walk around town because there wasn't much to see. But it's a beautiful little town really, how you expect a traditional Icelandic small town.
Yeah, so we headed towards the shore just so we could get some shots of Enchanted. Again, beautiful little, well, I won't necessarily say a beach area, but a beautiful little viewpoint where you could just look over the river and the fjords and everything. It was spectacular.
Yeah, you everywhere you looked, once again, beautiful, and Enchanted looked fantastic in that setting.
We then proceeded to walk towards, because basically we got to the edge of town, we got to the shore, and we could see the Kirkjufell.
I think it's Kirkjufell. I don't know, but the mountain. Let's call it the mountain.
The mountain. And we could see from where we were that there was a stream of passengers walking towards it. So we thought, oh, perhaps we don't have to get the bus and save ourselves €20.
Yeah, but it felt like that someone was saying, go this way, go this way. The amount of people who were heading in that direction. So we, as we do, we joined them and headed in that direction, didn't we? So out of town, it took us past the sign for Grundarfjörður itself, and it was a lovely walk, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, lovely walk. Just to the side of the road, there's a path, a footpath that we took, and you can literally follow it all the way around. Now, anybody with any walking issues or any disabilities, we definitely wouldn't recommend it because, it was quite steep and slippy in some places. And to get to the mountain, it took us 45 minutes each way. So yeah, although it was an absolutely spectacular walk, and we encountered, the first thing we encountered was the waterfall, which was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, so as you leave the town in Grundarfjörður, on the left-hand side, isn't it, as you walk along the path, there is a small waterfall. There's a bit of a climb to get down to, or get up to, depending on where you're taking your views from. But it looks absolutely spectacular, doesn't it? And the water is crystal clear, so it's definitely worth a stop off on your journey to the main event.
And other passengers and tourists that had come to visit all took the opportunity as well. It was very, very busy, but we managed to get a few shots with just us and the waterfall, which was quite nice.
So it's important to say the weather at this point was quite nice. It was quite bright outside, wasn't it?
It was.
Not too bad at all. However, as we continued along the path, now heading towards the mountain itself, all of a sudden we could see the darkness heading towards us, and within minutes Icelandic weather changes instantly. We were soaked.
Absolutely.
Once again. It was a downpour, wasn't it, really?
Massive downpour, but it didn't spoil our experience.
No, we carried on.
We did. We carried on because we'd already walked 30 minutes by then, so we carried on and made our way towards the mountain, and we're glad we did.
I'm glad we did. So once we reached the foot of the mountain, there was once again another massive waterfall. This is the one for photographs, really, isn't it? It's a spectacular waterfall. However, what it looks like in a photograph and what it looks like in reality are two different things, because the amount of people that were there,
so many.
When we reached the waterfall, I presume we were there at peak time because there was just so many people there. It was quite difficult. The paths were quite wet. It was quite slippy. There was areas of the waterfall barriered off for you not to cross over. Some of our fellow cruise passengers
ignored it.
Didn't particularly care. They were on it. They were over the waterfall, over the barriers, in the water, anywhere for the best photo, really. So quite dangerous at some points. So I'm not sure what all that was about, but they did it. But we enjoyed it anyway, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a beautiful part of the world, and I'm glad we visited.
Yeah.
I think next time I might get the bus.
Yeah, so mobility issues, like we said, get the bus, it drops you a 5-minute walk away. Otherwise, it's going to be a 45-minute walk.
Each way.
But if you're capable, it's worth walking, because otherwise you're going to miss all the sights.
We took the opportunity to soak up scenery and take a few photos and videos, and managed to get a couple of photos of the Kirkjufell as well, the mountain. Really, really nice.
Some people were brave enough to try and climb up the mountain. Considering what the weather was like, we were not, so we were happy to stand at the foot of the mountain
and just look up.
Take a few photos and begin the 45-minute walk back. So on the way back, we chose to walk along the road route. So as we said, on the way we went inland on the path. On the way back we walked along the road for majority of the route, which you can do. Perhaps not as safe if you've got children. It's probably best to stick to the path.
But the road is slightly shorter.
The road is slightly shorter because it hugs the coast more, so which is why we chose that option.
Not just us, other tourists and cruise passengers as well. By then we were both absolutely desperate for the toilet.
So we were on the hunt then. Where in this small town can we find the toilet? And in fact we found out after several stops in different places that you could go to the local town library, which
also doubled up as the local tourist information centre.
Yeah, and I think everything else really for the town. So, which was it was fine.
Yeah, no, absolutely fine. There was a big queue.
Big queue because there's just one toilet there, so I'm sure demand is not high any other day of the week. But lovely place, wasn't it?
Yeah, so the tourist information / library is located in the main square. There was a garage, a shop, and some mobile food vendors, and across the road there was also a wooden Viking ship, as well as a little shop that sold sort of traditional Icelandic clothing. Just off the main square then there was a church as well.
Yeah, lovely church. I think that was as we walked towards the church, wasn't it, that we spotted the cat.
Yes, the cat.
The cat was more like a lion. It was, I don't know how they shaved this cat. It looked like it was a lion. So and the cat was huge. It was absolutely huge, wasn't it? So it was.
Yeah, it was quite something to be seen.
It was an attraction for tourists on the way to the church anyway. So went to the church, had a little look around the church. It was a nice church.
Very small, very basic.
Traditional Icelandic church.
It was really, it was quite nice. It was quite quaint.
Yeah.
So.
From the church, we then headed back down towards the port where we could get onto the tender, because by this point we were feeling quite hungry, and there wasn't too many options. We did try one of the local restaurants, didn't we, to get into.
It was full.
It was fully booked. Oh, it was full with cruise passengers, so there's nothing we could do. We couldn't get in there.
No.
And there wasn't an extensive array of other options.
No.
So back on the tender we went.
Yeah, and unlike yesterday's, we got to the tender port and there was a massive queue. A massive queue for people wanting to get back onto Enchanted. So we did look at it and go, oh God, we're going to be here a while. But fortunately, one tender came, everybody got on it, and then another one came just as the other was leaving. So I think 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was quick.
Really quick. Really well done.
Actually, when you see the amount of people in the queue and then you realise how many people these tenders can fit on board, the queue
surprising,
goes down,
It's really surprising how many people they can put on a tender. On
Yeah.
the way back, we because we weren't at the front of the queue, we were just halfway in. We actually sat inside,
which
was
was
our
our first time inside a tender, which was great. Really different experience once again.
Yes,
not the comfiest
No.
experience. So if you've ever been in a tender, they're not made for comfort.
And you're squished in like sardines, aren't you? And
because they want to get as many people in as
and-
possible. But it was fine for the short amount, 10 minutes we were in it,
Yeah.
weren't we? So a little bit bumpy,
Yeah.
because the wind had picked up a little bit.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
other than that, no problem
It was
at all.
quite a good little trip back.
once back on Enchanted, as we said, we were quite hungry.
Starving.
So where would we go? Who knows? Let's one of our favourite spots on the ship, Salty Dog Grill.
There was a little bit of a queue because a lot of passengers were getting on and, you know, had the same idea as us.
Yeah.
But we waited there for, I think, around about 25 minutes. It was quite a wait because it was
They weren't the
queue.
speediest at cooking those hot dogs, were they?
No.
So
So I just had a Princess hot dog, and again I was able to add all of the deliciousness that I wanted to from the little buffet: onions, cheese, and bacon and all sorts like that, which was really, really nice.
And I had the pulled pork, which again, fantastic. One of my favourite things to have from the Salty Dog Grill is that pulled pork. So
I'm not a big lover of barbecue,
no,
but that pulled pork bap that they do, roll, bun, is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and of course, because we were there, we had to have chips with cheese and bacon, didn't we? So obligatory, really.
Which is lovely. Lovely.
Great. What we did then, we headed back down into the main part of the ship and had a little wonder because we were on the search for something, weren't we?
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
360.
360.
Boom, boom, boom.
Has anyone heard of 360? It's the new experience that Princess are going to be launching very soon. It is on Discovery and on Enchanted. So those are the only two ships so far.
And we wanted to know where exactly on the ship it could possibly be.
Yeah.
And obviously before we'd embarked, Enchanted, there was some rumours about a new dining venue called 360 that was coming soon. So obviously that intrigued our interest.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, on the sign down on the main piazza, deck 5, there it was.
360 had appeared, yeah.
With an arrow pointing that away.
Yes, and we also noticed that 360 was now in the lifts, elevators as well, telling us that it was on deck 5 as well. So we knew roughly where it was. So in our little quest, we think we've worked out where it is.
Yeah, so it's a round venue, and the only round place on any of the deck plans or maps is just off the side of Sabatini's.
Sabatini's, yeah. So opposite reception. So I think it's going to be there. So if you've been there, or if you know it, or if anything's changed on Enchanted to tell, let us know. Yeah, definitely. So what we did do then, we had a little wander through take 5.
In take 5, we noticed that there was a little jukebox in the corner. So when there's no house band or house jazz band playing, you can still go into take 5 and put some jazzy tunes on just by selecting them on the little jukebox, which was quite interesting. Didn't see that before.
But not much else going on in their very, very quiet venue during the day. Thank you to everyone who's watched this far into our video, but please don't forget to like and subscribe.
It's free.
After our explore for 360 and our little sneak peek at the jukebox in take 5, we were ready for a little rest, so we headed back to the room to get ready for dinner.
So we went down to the Amalfi restaurant, which is located on the aft of deck 6 for our usual 7 p.m. reservation.
Yeah. So for starter, I once again had soup. Now I know that people are saying to me, "Oh Tom, you're so boring. You keep having soup every day." I've seen it in the comments, and Debbie told me about that today as well. So I'm going to change it up on the next cruise, I promise. But yeah, I had cream of mushroom soup this time. And the reason why I have soup, is because I just don't want to fill myself up because there's so many other exciting things on the menu that I don't want to be full to spoil those. Anyway, what did you have?
And I had the selection of cold meats. I can't pronounce the name, but there was a bit of salami, a bit of ham. Yeah, it was okay. It was nice. I quite like cold meats, cold cuts. So yeah, it was quite a nice little starter.
Yeah. For the main then, I had the beef. Another fabulous piece of beef. It was so tasty once again.
And for my main, I had the pork tenderloin, which was absolutely beautiful. I've had pork quite a few times so far on Enchanted, and every time I have really, really enjoyed it. Even when there's been other things on the menu like beef, I thought, oh, go on, I'll try the pork, and I have not been disappointed.
No, you do like pork, though, don't you? Yeah. So what's important to say is that while we were eating our dinner, we actually started our sail away, and what a spectacular sail away it was once again. Sailing away from the mountain, and the mountain was changing colours as the clouds passed over. It was, once again, we've said this word so many times, haven't we? Spectacular.
No, it really was. And we were quite lucky because we have a window seat down in the Amalfi. It was, it's what cruising's all about though, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful. For dessert then, I decided to have the chocolate cheesecake, which was very, very chocolatey. Princess do some beautiful, beautiful desserts, and also a side of their orange sorbet, because I do like a little sorbet.
Lovely. And I had the creme brulee, and beautiful. Really nice tonight.
So after another absolutely amazing dining experience in the Amalfi restaurant, we were sailing away out of Grundarfjörður, so we thought, you know what, let's go out onto the promenade deck on deck 7 and just take in the scenery.
Yeah, we could not. After seeing some of those while we were eating, we just wanted to get a little bit of a better view up closer, and it was fantastic. It's mind-blowing really how beautiful the place is, isn't it? So if you can go there, make some time to get out on deck, because it is spectacular. To celebrate all those fantastic views, we then headed to Bellini's.
So Bellini's is on deck 7. It just looks over the main piazza, and it specialises in a variety of different wines. Really, really good service, nice chilled laid-back atmosphere, and just a really nice little spot to have a after dinner glass of wine.
Yeah, and you can just people watch over the main piazza like you said, so it's a lovely little spot to see what else is going on the rest of the ship. And what is near Bellini's, not far away, is back to Take 5. So we were inspired by our trip there earlier, so we thought we'd head back into Take 5 tonight for some of those cocktails.
Yes, so we had such a good night experiencing the cocktails last night in Kirkjufell. We thought, oh, go on, let's go back and try again, and that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, a little bit slower pace though.
Yes.
A little bit slower pace, because those cocktails, even though they are beautiful, are quite strong. And like we've said before, the cocktails in Take 5 are all signature cocktails designed around that jazz theme, so named after different jazz artists and jazz songs, so it's worth having a look.
We stayed in Take 5, soaked up the ambience, had a couple of cocktails, and then it was time to head to the Princess Theatre.
Yes, so tonight was AJ Clark, so his second time around, so we have seen him before. He also is super talented, and he's that talented. He was also able to do a couple of lectures on the ship, which took place in Vista Lounge. So it was definitely worth going to see him. He's got so much knowledge. He was the one who you can just think of songs off the top of his head and play them. Great, really talented. Yep,
so the theatre was busy again because, like we said, he is really, really good, and highly recommend that if he's on, you go and see him.
Yeah. After that then we headed to Vista Lounge itself actually. So just as we talked about, but Vista Lounge of a night is much more, there's a lot more going on, isn't there? It's more like a disco of a night. We headed there and had a couple of drinks and finished off our night there.
Yeah, so there was live music playing in the Vista Lounge, which I think they've got a lot of live music up until about 12 o'clock, and then it switches to party disco.
Disco, yeah. So again, really comfy seats to sit in Vista Lounge, nice relaxed area. It's also the place that if you've got various stages of status with Princess, they hold a lot of their events in the Vista Lounge as well. And so after a couple of drinks in Vista, that's it, we'd had it for tonight, hadn't we? We were so tired after our long walk to the mountain and back. We decided to head up to bed, but as we do now, we had to do a bit of room service. We ordered our usual cheese and chips. Once again, shame on us, I know.
Not at all, we're on holiday. And we'll miss it when we're not.
We will miss it, but our bodies will not miss it, because we do not need that every night.
It's day 10 now of just eating,
cheese,
drinking.
most nights, So
it's been great.
That's it. Tomorrow, last port of call, we are heading to
Reykjavik.
So,
and we've got an excursion book, Golden Circle,
a
full day, so we've got to be up early.
Yeah, so but we'll tell you more about that tomorrow. So really excited because this is the one in Iceland we've been looking forward to, haven't we? So
yes, we have.
Lots to see tomorrow, lots to do. So we'll let you know how we got on in Reykjavik.
Thanks for watching our Day 10 Enchanted Princess vlog. If you've got any comments or questions, just pop them in the box below and we'll get back to you.
And please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to check us out on social media.